My name is Dawn Marie, and this is my channel, DM's Crafty Vortex. This is my channel all about cross stitch, and I am here today on Sunday, July 13th, 2025 for a non-traditional whip parade. I've been thinking about doing a mid-year whip parade, seeing all the lovely whip parades going on, and it was just a little too overwhelming for me to pull out all my projects, and to be honest, I haven't really touched many of them. So what I thought I'd do now is do a wheel whip parade. And what that is going to be is I created a wheel today, and I am going to hopefully spin this wheel for the rest of the year. And this is what I'm going to be stitching on. I pulled out 15 projects. Out of all my projects, I pulled out 15 that I really want to see progress on. And that's what I'm going to work on. So I thought I'd do a little parade today on what's going to be on the wheel. And I apologize, the kitten is here. Can you not eat my stand? He's gotten so much bigger. And say hi, Romo. Romo is going to be getting a cousin soon. I got Romo from my stepson, and he has been a little terror but a pride and joy. But my son is getting a little jealous, I think, so my son will be getting one in October. So this is a rag doll because my husband's allergic to cats. So we do have to go with the special breed so that we can have kittens in the house and my husband cannot have an asthma attack. Before my husband, all my cats came from the Animal Refuge League, but now this is the compromise. Hopefully he'll behave. If not, I will send him up to my stepson's bedroom, but we'll see. I'm gonna add this somewhere in the beginning. I was thinking with this being a whip parade, sometimes you get some new people who probably haven't seen your channel before. I am in a different location because my husband's out cooking because he promised he'd cook for me today because I spent the entire morning volunteering at a golf tournament. He got to golf, I had to volunteer, so I said the deal was he had to cook dinner. So now he's out cooking dinner. I'm in my stitchy spot. But anyways, I thought maybe I should introduce myself because there might be people out there who are watching this who don't actually know who I am and just saw Whip Parade. My name's Dawn Marie. I live in the USA. I live in the state of Maine. I talk a lot about how I have more stitching time in the summer than the winter because it is very cold in Maine in the winter, and I work for an oil company. So in the winter, we work longer hours. We work typically 55 to 60 hours a week in the winter. We work a 6-day work week in the winter, Monday through Saturday. Not everybody, but just a few of us in the company work those hours. This I'm hoping is going to be my last year of Saturdays. Not quite sure yet. So I live in Maine. I work for an oil company. I have more stitchy time in the summer. The problem is also in the summer, my husband loves to golf. He really likes me golfing with him. I enjoy golfing with him. So sometimes the golfing takes up the time that the work didn't take. And stitching's going to be here forever. So if I have a husband who wants to spend time with me, I'm sure as heck not going to say no. So I golf in the summer. I'm not a good golfer. I'm actually going to be starting some golf lessons at the end of this month to try to become a little bit better of a golfer because my husband and his friends who I golf with are phenomenal golfers. So I want to be around some people probably a little bit more my caliber. I have 3 kids. My husband has 3 kids, so we have the Brady Bunch. We have 3 girls and 3 boys between us. He has a 27-year-old son, and I have twin girls that are 27, and then I have a 25-year-old son, and then he has an 18-year-old daughter, and he has a 15-year-old son. And in my household, the 15-year-old son lives with us full-time. My 25-year-old son lives with us full-time, and his 27-year-old son lives with us full-time. And so I am the only female in this house at the moment. Thank God we have 2 bathrooms. So yeah, so that's the house stuff. That's a little bit about me. I try to do stitchy life updates. I'm not really great at stitchy life updates, as you could probably tell in the video. I had to think about talking about myself and had to edit this in. Yeah, so I work full time. I actually have 2 jobs. I also do some, I work for a hotel and I do banquet work. Sorry, something's popping up. I forgot to put it back on Do Not Disturb mode. I keep trying to get rid of that job. The problem is stitchy retreats keep coming up, or trips that we're going on keep coming up, and the employee discount is way too good to give up. When I have a trip going on, I can get a hotel room at an employee price. So I keep that job just for the employee discount, and my husband is coming in because he does not realize I am recording.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And he's not leaving, so.
Sorry. You're doing the living room.
Yeah. He needed to bring a golf club into the bedroom. So this pause is for a golf club that somehow needed to make it into our bedroom. So as I said, he was at a stitch, he was at a golf tournament today. And I'm sure it was his putter, because we have a putting mat in the bedroom. And I can't complain about the putting mat in the bedroom, because if you look at our bedroom, I have 3 shelves full of cross-stitch stuff. So if I can have 3 shelves full of cross-stitch stuff, you can have a putting mat in the bedroom. So yes, and then we have the 2 cats with the kitten on the way, and we have a lab, Destiny, who she's a little old lady. I really can't think of anything else to say now, especially for a whip parade, but just a little bit about me. So hopefully in the next whip update, I can talk a little bit about the retreat I went on the other day. Met some lovely people at our table. Yeah, so again, I'm gonna squeeze this in somewhere, probably at the beginning, and I will now go back to the whips. Okay, so as I was saying, now that I completely lost track, so instead of showing a bunch of projects you haven't seen in a while, and let's face it, I haven't filmed much in a while, I'm going to do a whip parade of the things you're going to see for the rest of the year and kind of give me a nice starting point. I have been mostly monogamous stitching for the last couple of months, so there haven't been a lot of things to show you, but I've decided I'm going to do this wheel. I'm going to spin it daily, and I'm actually going to have stuff that I can show you more than just one project. So I'm really excited to get this going. So we're going to just get started into these whips on projects that I'm going to be doing. I'm only going to spin the wheel when I'm ready to sit down and stitch, because there are days that I don't get to stitch at all. But hopefully now that we're into summer, I'll have a little bit more stitching time. And let's get started. I have this somewhat in order, but then things got rearranged as I was moving the cat. Now, the order I have them is only the order I threw them in on my wheel. I am a horrible floss tuber. I do not keep track of start dates and birthdays of my whips and stuff like that. I try to, but when I want to start something, I want to start something, and I always think I will remember later to write down when I started something, and then I don't. So in no particular order, we are going to start out with a brand new start that you have not seen on this channel at all, but you have seen on Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. And no, don't eat the bag. So we are going to start out with a Shannon Christine design, and this is Sugar Plum Village, and I started this on July 2nd with Lacey the Sleepy Stitcher. And this picture does not do this project justice at all. Like, I stitched this because I told Lacey I would stitch a Shannon Christine design with her, but I wasn't extremely thrilled with it. But now that I'm stitching it, I love it so much. It is so much prettier than this picture leads it to believe. So I am stitching this on 32 count wet sand by Bestitch Me. It is a fabric of the month, and it is June's fabric of the month, so it came just in time for me to start this. So I was really excited about that because it is perfect for this project. I did get the digital copy as well so that I could throw it in Pattern Keeper. So I do know that I have stitched 4,073 stitches on this project. It has a total of 16,896 stitches, so I am at 24.11% complete on this. And this is where I am at. So I do have the brown of this border all the way around and it met up. So I'm really excited about that. And this is where I am. I am absolutely loving this. Isn't this so much prettier than the cover page of that pattern? So now I have this on my wheel twice. So I really want to make progress and I want to get this done. So this is on my wheel twice. It is in my Land of the Brave bag, which has nothing to do with my Christmas in July pattern, but I made this for another Shannon Christine design pattern that I monogamously stitched, finished, and gave to my dad, and it's hanging on his wall. So I'm just kind of keeping this as my Shannon Christine bag. So that is Sugar Plum Village by Shannon Christine Designs, and that's on my wheel twice. Oops. You will hear zippers because I have a cat running around, as you can see, and I don't want him getting into the bags. And he will get into the bags. So next up is my bride pattern, and hold on, my cat is now in the basket that has all my projects, so. Give me that. So this is a lavender and lace design. This is also on my wheel twice. And this is the bride. And here's the picture. I am making this for my daughter who's getting married in September. And my goal is not to have it done by September because I tried to monogamously stitch it, and all these creams and more creams, I started to lose my stitchy bug. So I put it on the wheel, and I put it on the wheel twice so that it will get plenty of stitching time, but I just don't plan on it being done by September. And this is being stitched on, I believe it's called Rose or Tea Rose by Atomic Ranch. Yes, Tea Rose by Atomic Ranch Fabrics, and this is a 28 count linen. So here's this. And I am stitching it on this color because these are my daughter's wedding colors. Let me just move the thread from where I was working on. So this has 2,168 stitches out of 18,538 stitches, and it is 11.69% complete. So this is where I am at on this. It's beautiful. I love stitching on it, but I just need a break from the creams every once in a while. So I think this wheel will give me just enough of a break, and where it's on the wheel twice, it won't get forgotten about. Okay, next up is My Sweet Familiar. I don't know if I have a picture of it printed up, and let me figure out. Yes. So this was on an Etsy shop that is no longer around, so you can't get this pattern. But let me see. I will have to put a picture of it up here because I don't have a printed up picture, and I don't think I can pull it up on Pattern Keeper either because of the way it loaded in. Oh, wait. I think the mock-up loaded in. Hold on one second. I really don't want to do too much editing on a Whip Parade video. A non-traditional Whip Parade video. Let's see. The mock-up is there. Yes. So here is the, whoops. You're gonna get my ring light and you're gonna get my neighbors. All right, here is the mock-up. It's My Sweet Familiar, and again, it was an Etsy store. It's no longer around. It is stitched on, I believe, 25 count easy grid. I have stitched 6,434 stitches out of 418,902 stitches, and I'm at 1.54% complete. And this is where I am at. So I was working up here and all that background. This is all curtain, and I really wanted to just get into something a little bit more fun. So this is the hat. So what I want to do on this is I want to get down to the face. and I want to stitch the face because I don't want to stitch background for 3 years and then find out I don't like the face, especially where it's an Etsy store that's no longer around. I really haven't seen any of the stuff stitched up, so I want to stitch the face, and if I like the face, then I'll continue on, and if I don't like the face, then I will UFO it, and it will still be a lot of time invested in getting there, but I think I'd rather do that than just keep up in that corner. So that's what my goal is with this, is to get to the face and see if that looks good. This is only on my wheel once. I only have 3 projects that are on my wheel twice. So the first 2, Sugar Plum Village and The Bride, and then Shimmering Witch, because I really want to see some progress on that one as well. All right, next up, you have not seen, if you've been following me for quite a while, and it's a shame because I remember I was so excited when I got this pattern, and then I restarted it because I didn't like the count that it was on, and now I'm going to pull it out. I have been thinking about this for so long that I've wanted to get some stitches in it. This is Magic Study, the rainbow version by Rose Cat Khan. It is supersized max color. It's the Haid version because I don't think Pain Free Craft even has the rainbow version. I think they just have the regular version. So what had happened is she had done her regular colorway because Rose Cat Khan does puzzles and submitted it, and the puzzle company wanted it more colorful. So she did the rainbow version, and if you look at the rainbow version, not only is it more colorful, it actually has more pictures in it as well. And this one, I don't think I printed up, so we'll go back into this. So I did do 20,461 stitches out of 739,260 stitches. So even though I did 20,000 stitches, I'm only at 2.77% complete. This is a biggie. It'll take me forever if I ever finish it, but I will never finish it if I never actually stitch on it. So this has come out. And here is the PDF of this. And like you can see, like that butterfly up in the top corner, that does not exist in the regular version. And then there's just more details in this that did not make it to the regular one. So I am only up in that top corner, but I think I want to work my way down instead of across, or maybe go into diagonal so I can get some of this bookcase and stuff in. And it has been so long since I've worked on this that there are actually parked threads. And you know, I don't park threads anymore. So this is where I am at. Very excited, pulling it out. It has so much done on it to just be put away and not touched again. But this is going to be huge. But here I am. And I don't show, this is the bag it's in and this is the maker, because I've made every single bag that I have. So it's not that I don't want to plug bag makers, but I've made all my bags, so there's really nobody to plug. And I don't sell my bags, so can't even plug myself. All right. Next up is, sorry. Kitten is in the laundry basket with all the bags, but he's under a bag and I didn't see him and he just startled me a little bit. I am sorry. Can you, no, this is my bag. You need to let go. Thank you. All right. So this is Saki Dragon. I started this as part of the Stanley Morrison Dragon Sale that was done on during the Dizzy Stitches Facebook group a while ago. And it's charted by Pain Free Craft. And I have 33,970 stitches done out of 118,800 stitches, and I'm at 28.59% complete on this one. And I do have a picture of what this one looks like done. So this is what it's gonna look like when it's done. And all of my projects, most of my projects, except for a couple of new ones, they're all on my full coverage. They're 1/1 full cross, and most of them are 25 count easy yurt. I have a couple of 28 counts floating in there. I don't particularly love 28 count. 25 count is my go-to. And I do have some done that you can't see, very little bit, but it's background. So all the good stuff you can see. So I'm not gonna pull this out, but this is where I am at. And this needs to be getting stitched on. This is too pretty and has too much done to be sitting in one of my cupboards. This is so much fun to work on because you've got all this confetti in here, but then you go to the soothing background. And the background's got just enough so it's not boring, but it has enough block stitching that you can just get out some stitches. And I do have what, little dragon needle minder on it. So excited to get some stitches back into that. Oops. I don't want to lose the picture. Okay, so next up is 12-sided dice fairy. This is by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. This was charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I have 20,293 stitches done out of 313,500 stitches, and I'm at 6.47% complete on this one. Nope, mine. Okay, this is the last bag I have to pull out of the laundry basket where Romo is, so I should be safe pulling out the rest of my projects after this. So this is 12-sided dice fairy, and I just love it. My husband and son think she's very creepy, and I don't care. And while this looks like I'm stitching background, I'm really not. This is actually her hair. So we've got plenty of background going on, but I am into the hair. And this is a little dice that my friend Anna got me for my birthday one year. She actually kitted this whole thing up for me and got me the dice and gave it to me and didn't realize I'd already kitted the whole thing up. So she took the floss back and kitted up Mini Sunflower Cottage, which did not make it in the lineup this go around. So this is where this is at. And I will show this bag that I made just because how perfect is that fabric? And let me just show you again. So see, I am in that hair right there, which makes it look like I'm still in background. And next up is Dragon Artist. This is charted by Nini Thomas from Pain Free Craft. I've done 7,605 stitches out of 33,599 stitches at 2.26% complete. Let me just figure out which bag this is in. I gave up trying to get the bags in order because the little terror came at that point and was attacking me, so. This I actually had charted up by Pain Free Craft. They did a wonderful job kitting it up for me. They kitted it up, and this is what it will look like done. I can't believe I put this one down for as long as I have. And this is where it is at. It is so gorgeous. And I say this every time I show it, but what you can't see is there are so many colors in here that are just so pretty. I think it's just coming across as gray, gray, and more gray. But up close, you can see the hues of blues and just like some lavender colors in here. It just makes the scales, they just shimmer. And I just wish you could see how pretty this looks. Absolutely love this one. And again, pain-free craft, kitted it up so they're all on these little cards. So easy to work from. Which is funny because I'm a bobbinator, so normally I don't like floss cards or anything, but these ones are really easy to work from. I'm gonna get an avalanche soon. Okay, next up is Cute Witch, and this is from Charlie's official store, and it's a design by Fantasy Digital. And I have done 3,328 stitches out of 112,896 stitches for 2.95% complete. Just looking to see if I have a picture in here. Okay, back to the iPad. I really thought I had a picture of this one printed up. This is this one, and I am up in that top corner bat. So I figured if the bat came out cute, the rest of it should probably come out pretty good. And I'm not done with the bat yet, but you can tell by looking at it that this bat is just coming out adorable. Look at its little eyes. They're so cute. So I can't wait to get some stitches in on this. I know I've said that on most of the projects, but the good news is because of the wheel, I will be getting stitches in on this because this won't be the traditional whip braid again where I throw everything aside and I don't touch it again. This will all be on a wheel and getting touched. So again, here's a cute little bat. This one's a little bit of a tight fit for the bag. I used one of my bigger Q snaps. No. I'm just gonna get some of these things in the laundry basket while he's out of it to make myself some more room. There we go. Avalanche is a little bit smaller now. Okay. So next up is Dumbledore's Library by the Cross Stitch Studio. I'm not sure who the designer is on this one. And I've done 2,042 stitches out of 640,000, and I am only at 0.32% complete. So this definitely needs some stitches. And I have this in a library bag that I made, and I made a bunch of these bags too because I went to the library stitch retreat in Maine. I'm in Maine, so I thought, what better bag to make for a library stitch retreat than this? And I made it for my table mates, and then a couple of other people who didn't sit with me got these. I gave Karen one of the bags. because she's waiting on her library and she's been waiting forever for them to kit it up, and hopefully she has that by now. But I gave her the bag to kind of give her something that for the library, and my friend Valerie got one. And then one lady at the retreat came up to me and asked me if I sell my bags, which I don't. And even if I did, you can't get this fabric anymore. I got it from Joanne Fabrics, and they sold out of this before I ever even finished making my bags. But I happened to have one spare because we didn't have, I thought it was tables of 10s. It was only tables of 6s, and we actually had some empty seats, so I had spare bags. So I just gave the bag to the lady who asked if I sell my bags, because it was her first ever retreat, and she wanted something to remember the retreat by. And what was I going to do with two of the same bags? So I just gave it to her. But I digress. This is Dumbledore's library, and here is my picture. And with only 2,000 stitches done, you know I'm just up here where you can barely see anything. There is so many 939 stitches in this that it doesn't even show up on Pattern Keeper. You know, where Pattern Keeper gives you the amount of stitches, it's just blank because there's just too many stitches for it to even read. And let's see, how many stitches are there of 939? 189,845 939 stitches in this. And this is where I'm at. And these were a couple of needle minders that I got at the library stitch retreat from the New England Stitcher. And I bought some stuff from her again. I just went to another stitch retreat up in Hollowell, the Daily Stitcher retreat, I think. But I'm not going to talk about that during a whip parade. But aren't these cute? Whoops. All right, I actually have to flip the page. All right, next up, Sunset at Hogsmeade, designed by Leonardo AI and charted by Krensnick Creative. I'm not sure, I'm probably butchering that. I've done 6,305 stitches out of 375,000 stitches. And hopefully I have a picture of this one. So, and let me see, there's. Oh, it's hard to see it backwards, and that's right there where I got it from. And I'm up on this roof line, a little nervous right now about the detail of the chimney and the roof, but we will see. I'll keep plugging away on this. I have hopes, because somebody else on Instagram, I can't remember who posts a lot of pictures, started down here, and it looks phenomenal. So I'm hoping this roof line's going to get a little bit better as I stitch. But here is where I'm at. So as you can see, that's pretty much some solid stitching there. And if you look at the pattern, you can see, well, it's dark, you can definitely see more detail. But almost done. Okay, next up is Shimmering Witch, which is on my wheel twice. And this is charted by Arcane Splendor, and this is from Stitches So Beautiful. I've done 6,682 stitches out of 160,000 stitches, and I am at 4.18% complete. I can't remember, I think I said for Hogsmeade, I've done 6,305 stitches for 375,000 at 1.68% complete. I think I said it. If so, you've just heard it twice. But again, Shimmering Witch, 6,682 stitches out of 160,000 stitches, 4.18% complete. And I absolutely, positively adore this one. So again, it is on my wheel twice. And this is what it looks like. And again, I'm just plugging away up in the corner. That's why I want to kind of just concentrate on a few whips for the rest of the year so that I'm not always saying I'm up in the top corner. I want to get a lot of progress done on these, and then I'll start pulling out some more of the other ones. But I'll be able to show you some stuff that you can actually see some detail. But this is where I'm at on this one. And I love that. That came out. So I was working on the diagonal till I got up there, and I wanted to get that motif done. And then I'm back to getting my diagonal in again. Look at how pretty that is. And that little frogget I got from the New England Stitcher last year at the Library Stitch Retreat. And I'm so excited. They are discussing the beginning of the week about next year's Library Stitcher. So fingers crossed they do one for next year, and then double fingers crossed that I get in. So it's not a guarantee because it does sell out, but here it is. My avalanche is getting big again. Next up, we're going a little bit different for me in that this one is being stitched on 32 count tent stitch, and I didn't pre-kit it up. I am stitching off a master set. So just completely going brand new. This is Magical Forest. It's designed by Fantasy Digital. It's charted by Stitches So Beautiful. Now this is something you can't buy yet. I got this chart by going to her Facebook group and completing a monthly challenge. You have to do 250 stitches a week, post your pictures, and then at the end of the month, you get the chart for free. I am stitching this with Lacey, the Sleepy Stitcher, and Leanne from Small Town Stitches. This was my birthday start that we did. And again, I'm doing it on 32 count tent stitch. I am at 1,830 stitches out of 160,000 stitches for 1.14% complete. And it's so tiny looking at the 32 count, but here's where I'm at. You can see the tree coming in. Now, when I finally pull this out, I fly through it because it's tent stitch, although it does take some getting used to. When you're used to finishing your X's, looking at 10 stitch, you do get a little off on where you think you're actually at. So definitely, I would like to try this on 40 count, but there is no way in heck I can do it without the grid. All the power to you people who don't do grids. But again, it's so tiny. It's pulling it out though, using my master set is a little overwhelming because I kit up as I go. So pulling out all my threads, even though they're in 2 storage containers, one of those big double-sided ones and a small one, but this is definitely not an easy to travel with project because I have to have my entire set to stitch on it. But I got more than enough projects that I can take with me when I go somewhere. And then next up is Reading Fairy, and this was gifted to me by the Boogie Stitcher. She has an Etsy site now where she designs up cross-stitch patterns, and this is something she designed herself. And So I got it. And again, I'm doing this one on 32 count 10th stitch. I couldn't remember if I remember to show you the picture from the last one, but I did. So I am at 656 stitches out of 90,000. I'm at 0.73% complete. Here is what it's going to look like. Now, if you go over to her site, she does have a floss tube. She has the face done. And I am just up here in this top corner, as I am with so many others. And again, 32 count, 10 stitch, 1/1. And let me see. Yeah. This is where I'm at. So not much, but that's going to change. Then I wanted to get a couple of non-full coverage patterns into my rotation. So I have the Sugar Plum Village, and I have the Bride, but I wanted to get some of my older non-full coverages out and get them in the rotation as well. So next up is Halloween Village Afghan by Stony Creek. The picture, it's really hard to show the picture because they got it all folded up as an Afghan. And so, but here's a tinier picture of it. I am not doing an Afghan. I just have regular fabric that I am using on this. And I was able to scan it into Pattern Keeper page by page. Took me forever to do, but I got it all in. Now you can't search by symbol, but you can at least mark off. So this is, I don't know if I actually have a count on it though. Let me see. Oh yes, I do. 2,926 stitches out of 240,300 stitches, and I'm at 1.22% complete. And this is where I am at. This pumpkin is slowing me down because this white is glow in the dark thread, and it is not fun to stitch with. I'll just say that now. I don't mind stitching with Krynic. I don't mind beading. I don't mind back stitching, but stitching with this, I would say for me, is almost as bad as stitching with Whisper thread. So, and that's saying a lot. So that is slowing me down because there is a lot of this in this pattern too. So I can't get a count on just that because again, where I scanned it into Pattern Keeper, but this is where I'm at. And this is going to be huge as well. And let me see if I have the tag. This is linen, I can tell you that just by touching it. So this is 36 count light mocha Zweigart Edinburgh linen. And that's it looks like a good start, but considering how big it is a teeny tiny itsy bitsy start. So. All right. Sometimes I wonder when you get it out and you have to put it back in, how the heck you got it in to begin with. This needs to be serged, those ends, I can tell you that. That is frightening. Okay. And then last up, where did she go? Okay, we're going to pause for a second because I didn't grab her. Hold on. So last up, and I went all the way downstairs to get this earlier and got sidetracked and don't know how I forgot to bring it up. I apologize. Is a Bella Filipina design. And this is Bellatrix. I don't have a stitch count on this because it's not in Pattern Keeper, it's not in markup. I've just been working off a paper chart. And this is my Chew Snap, so that's not really going to do you much good, is it? Let's see. I've got a needle because I was mid-working on it when I put it down. So this is being stitched on Mystique by Grace Notes Fabrics, and this is 28 count. So, all right. Hot in the wrinkles, but this is how much I have done. So really, this needed to come out. And if you haven't been following me, one of the things you don't know is I stitched almost all of this once on, I think, 18 count. And I gave it away for somebody else to stitch and started it over on the 32 count. I mean the 28 count. So look at this. So I did do the Krynic a little different. Krynic, it called for the 1/2, and I didn't like the coverage. So I'm doing it 2/2 because the thing about the images on Bellatrix is it's not a cross-stitched picture. It's somebody didn't stitch it up for us to see. It's a digital image placed over fabric. So it looks so much darker and filled in here than, and I Googled a lot of people stitching who did it with the one strand, and I just didn't love it. And I bought another skein because I knew I wouldn't have enough. And it's in a bag somewhere. I now no longer know where that skein is, but I will cross that bridge when I get to it. This is where I am at on Bellatrix. So that is the last project that is going on my wheel. And I just have one more project to show. I just need to get this back in the bag because Romo is eyeing it up. It's too big to go in the bag, and I just had it all folded in. Right. We'll just have to keep Kitty away from this one. So, at the Daily Stitch Retreat, Kara, the Granite State Stitcher, was there. She has a floss tube. And I had promised her at the library stitch retreat, not this April, but the prior April, that I would start my chatelaine. And she has started her chatelaine, and I haven't yet. But what I'm gonna do is I will put my chatelaine on the wheel as soon as something comes off. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be Sugar Plum Village. But here is my chatelaine. I got the Medieval Town Mandala, and I did have it all kitted up. The problem is I got it kitted up, but it took 6 months to get to me. So by the time you get it 6 months later, you lose that, oh, I've just got to get this started rush. So I do need to start this, and I will. as soon as something else. So, Cara, I'm putting it out here on video. The next thing to come off the wheel, this will start. Now, this will start the next thing that comes off the wheel. However, there may be another new start in my future. A couple of new starts. One is in September. I'm having minor surgery on my nose. Right here, I have a spot of cancer that they need to take off. And I'm thinking that is worthy of a new start because I am taking the rest of the week off. So I will have, my daughter's wedding is on the 20th of September. So I asked them if I could wait till after the wedding before I had this great big scar in the middle of my face. And they said, yes, this is not a fast progressing type of cancer. I forget the type it is, but it's not melatonin. It's one that doesn't spread to any other part of your body. It can get bigger on my nose, but it's not going to spread. So they said. So her wedding's on the 20th. And then on Tuesday, the 23rd, I'm going to have this removed. We don't know how big or how deep it is. So I did just take the rest of the week off because I don't know how, there's not much skin there. It's your nose. And I'm Italian, so wouldn't have minded maybe making my nose smaller, but it's up at the top of my nose. So that's not going to help with the size of my nose. But it is kind of where my glasses fall. So I don't know. He said that he thinks I'm going to be okay, that the glasses are just going to miss it. So if that's the case and I can put my glasses on, I think that is worthy of a new start. I don't know what I'm going to start. I don't know if I'm going to buy something new to start. I could definitely dig it into my stash. I got plenty of things here to start, but that's just not as much fun as buying something new. So I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to find something between now and September to start. And then when I start that will go on the wheel. The other thing is, and I'm hemming and hawing about this, and I saw when Catherine from Catherine's Stitching Chronicles had posted on Instagram this new Bella Filipina design. It's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I haven't seen a fancy lady-ish type thing in a while that I have loved. I haven't really liked any of the new mirrors recently within the last year. And I just haven't seen a fancy lady that I've fallen in love with recently. And I fell in love with this, and it's a mermaid. It's another mermaid. It's from Bella Filipina Designs. The only thing that is holding me back is the price. He's charging $43 on his site to get the digital download. I don't know how much the paper chart's going to cost. I'm waiting. It just got released, so it hasn't reached stores yet, although I just put it in and there is an Etsy store selling it pre-order for $7. And it's The Legend of Freyra by Bella Filipina Designs. And I was reaching out to, again, Catherine Stitching Chronicles, and she's in Canada. So, because she was showing it, and I had just reached out and said, wow, did you see the price? And she was saying, without even thinking about it, that's US dollars. So in Canada, she was thinking that's going to cost her around $60. And that's just for the chart. And with these fancy ladies, you've got the beading, and these aren't cheap to kit up, but this is what it looks like. So I'm thinking about it just because I haven't bought a fancy lady in a while. I'm trying to do this without the, hold on. I'm going to take the light off just because we don't have to worry about fabric or anything showing up. Let's see if that shows up a little bit. There we go. So it is gorgeous. I have reached out to Be Stitch Me to see if maybe she's going to be getting it in and kitting it up. I don't know if even my coupon, I have a coupon because I get the fabric of the month. Don't know if the coupon works on something like this, but just to see if it makes it a little bit more affordable. But it's so pretty. So we'll see. We'll see if that makes its way into my stash. In getting this wheel set up, I put a bunch of projects away and pull some of these out. And in pulling a bunch of projects away, I found my bag of already kitted up Bellas and mirrors. And it's a big bag of stuff that's already kitted up. So I absolutely don't need this. I don't need this. I know I don't need this. but I want it. And do I need any of this? No, but I got it because I want it. And I haven't kitted up a fancy lady in a while. So we'll see. What do you think? You think I should get it? I mean, I feel like, you know, I should spoil myself a little bit. I'm nervous about having a piece of my nose cut off. So maybe I need a little retail therapy. Let me know what you think down below. Also, let me know, what is your favorite going on my wheel? And did I miss something? Maybe if you've watched me in a while, is there something that isn't going on my wheel that you were hoping was going on my wheel? Let me know below. And thank you so much. So hopefully now that I have a wheel that I'm spinning and I'll be working on more projects, I will be filming on a little bit more of a regular basis. You'll see more projects. You won't see a ton of stitching, but you'll see stitching. So that's it for my mini whip parade. And until next time, happy crafting.